What's going on, everyone? We're back with another episode of the Undead Hunter. Now, we've got a very good episode lined up here, and I'm going to tell you why. We're going to take a journey down to Shadowfang Keep. We're going to trudge through the dungeon, tell some stories, and kind of experience a classic and favorite dungeon in World of Warcraft. Now, I'm going to start by queuing up specifically for the dungeon because I want to do this, so hopefully we can find a group without it taking way too long. We'll see. But just off camera, I went to Orgrimmar and just changed my timeline over to from Battle for Azeroth to the Cataclysm so that I could queue up for the classic dungeons. And now I want to also make the actual trudge down so we can see what the experience would be like going to the dungeon specifically. So we'll be making a journey south through Silverpine and arriving at Shadowfang Keep. Very excited about this. So in the last episode, we finished up the questline here in Silverpine Forest. We actually made our way into Gilneas, the ruins of Gilneas here. Now, I didn't initially plan to delve into that storyline. I kind of wanted to kick off Tirisfal, wanted to kick off Silverpine. So I'm at a little bit of a crossroads on this character now, and I want you guys to kind of help make the decision for me. Do I keep pushing on the Undead Hunter? Do we keep journeying through some old dungeons? Do we keep exploring these zones? Or do we start a new character? Do we delve in at level 1 on any other race, any other class, and experience those beginning stories that are so nostalgic for all of us? So let me know in the comments what you think you might want to see for the future of the channel here. And if you have a specific class or character type that you want to see started, let me know that too, and we can give that a chance and have some fun with it. But for today's episode, it's going to be Shadowfang Keep. Now, I don't know how hard it's going to be to get a group here. It's pretty early in the morning. I don't know that there will be a lot of tanks and healers on, but we'll see what we can do. Be great to jump right into a queue. So somewhere down here, look at this. If you look off into the distance, it's the walls of Gilneas. Huge destroyed walls. They did a lot of changes to this area. There's Shadowfang Keep right there. They did a lot of changes to this area in, must have been Cataclysm? BFA? Yeah, it must have been Cataclysm. Because this whole Gilneas thing was not here before. You just had this kind of pyrewood. At least I don't think it was. I could be mistaken. So we'll trudge down here. I want to just check out the city. Pyrewood Village. I remember coming up here to explore Shadowfang Keep. One of the first dungeons I ever did. And I made the trudge all the way up here, way back in, must have been TBC or Classic. And when I got up towards SFK around here, I trudged into this city. Got absolutely crushed by mobs in here. There used to be Worgen here before they were even playable. But it seems to be empty now. Alright, let's swing. Ooh, that's cool. There's like a gargoyle rare spawn. Alright, let's down him. Easy enough to kill. Ooh, some good pants too. Wow, really good pants. Happy to take those. You almost feel like you could solo the dungeon with how much damage I'm outputting. I don't know that that's actually possible. Look at Shadowfang Keep. What a cool dungeon. If you've never been here, it's super cool. It's like a castle kind of that you work your way through. It's pretty awesome. Alright, we got ourselves a dungeon pop. Just waiting for the healer to accept the queue here. Alright, here we go. The official Shadowfang Keep dungeon run. So we have a couple quests to start out. Let's take a look. Did you think that a handful of Worgen vermin could stop me? Shadowfang Keep was part of the Lordaeron Kingdom in life. So it is quite fitting that it should belong to the Forsaken in death. Godfrey and his accomplices are minor obstacles at best, and of course, we're all happy to take them out for their treachery against the Dark Lady. Ashbury has positioned himself near the front of the keep, leaving him wide open for attack. Start us out on the right foot, would you? Alright, we're gonna trudge through the dungeon here. So, the beginning of the dungeon looks like they've actually done away with some enemies. Let's see what the makeup of our group is. We've got a shaman healer, a troll mage, an orc warrior as our tank, and an orc warlock. And then we're just kicking back, dealing some damage. So let's kind of see what we can do here. We'll throw out a trap, some flares, just start kind of pushing in, but man oh man does this dungeon take me back. It really does. So I want to see kind of how it compares, because I haven't run this in retail in a very long time. Alright. I remember there being a boss, seems to be down there. Okay, easy enough. I imagine this is probably going to be easy, and one thing about retail that people may not know is that levels scale, so we have all sorts of levels playing with us right now, which is kind of cool. He's actually got a lot of health. He's not dropping quick, there's no question about that. Asphyxiate, he's dealing huge damage too. Oh my. Let's see if we can continue this. So they've actually swapped out all of the bosses in this dungeon. It's not how it used to necessarily be. So I've got some great memories in this dungeon, which I'll kind of walk you through as I play. But I remember, man, it must have been over 10 years ago, the first time I ever ran this dungeon. I thought it was the coolest dungeon ever, because you're kind of working through this castle. You can look back on on the beginning of the dungeon when you're towards the end. It's very cool. I love the layout. The bosses are taking quite a while. My understanding is that because of the level squish and the scaling of levels, damage is a little bit wonky in lower level dungeons. So the bosses take a little while, which is fine. Let's see if we got any loot. Nope. Now if I remember, we open this and the guy helps us. Oh, here's the quest. Very well done. They've gotten a hold of powerful allies. Clearly nothing a hunter champion of the Banshee Queen can't handle. That's right. The best part about this plague is that even when it visually fades away, the remaining residue is still quite potent. However, we still have an enormous area to cover before we're done, with plenty of Godfrey's defenses in the way. He ran off. Hey buddy, let me finish that quest. It appears that the spirits that served Baron Silverlaine, I'll have to read it here, and Commander Springvale in life now guard them in death, and Godfrey is using them to deter us. Show them all the iron will of the Forsaken. Alright. This room was always pretty tough, I remember, early on, because there were so many mobs around, and it always felt like challenging, because you might pull one, get yourself in trouble. And from what I remember, there was a debuff that actually, it was like a 5 or 10 minute debuff. And if you didn't have a mage to remove curses, basically it would summon a ghost on you throughout the dungeon. Just intermittently, a ghost would appear and start attacking you. I wonder if that's still in this. We're gonna have to find out. Damage seems to be decent. Kick off an aimed shot. The music in this dungeon takes me back too, particularly towards the end. There was always this dead guy over here that you could attack but couldn't kill. I believe he was part of a class quest. In addition to the horses in here. They looked different before, but they would drop they were fell steeds, and they would drop a bag you could get, and it was a rare drop, and it was always a decent-sized bag for the level. I remember that being so cool. And there was also this little hammer here, which, is it still there? Can't tell. But there was a little hammer in there that was part of the Paladin quest line, which I always thought was very cool too. There were a number of class quests that had to come to Shadowfang Keep. It was pretty cool. A lot of cool things, like in particular, I remember this dungeon also having a ton of BOEs. So really cool bind on equips that were really good for twinking, for PvP, early level PvP. There was, of course, Shadowfang, the incredible sword that was extremely hard to get. And after, I think, patch 2.3, they changed kind of the levels in some of the early dungeons, and then it basically became impossible to get. So this sword would sell for crazy amounts of gold on the AH. And that was pretty cool, actually. Good recollections of trying to farm for that. Baron Silverlaine, there he is. I thought this dungeon was cool too because you're kind of working through this castle, so you see the various rooms of the castle. There's something nice about it. Getting pretty good experience in here too. Alright, big damage on the boss. Let's go. My bat is in there crushing it out. He's dropping, he's dropping. Baron Silverlaine, I remember, dropped a pretty decent ring and also a pretty decent mace. But I'm unsure if the loot has changed. But I recall those being actually pretty decent. Couple worgens spawning. Everyone seems to be hanging tough, though, which is good. Okay, let's see what he dropped. Nothing for me. Somebody got the ring. There it is. The Silverlaine family seal. Now, I wonder, is there a quest here?
What now? I am forsaken.
Oh no, I believe we press on to the next part for the quest. Let me know down in the comments what some of your favorite classic dungeons are. This is definitely near the top of my list. I loved this dungeon. Something about it. But I'd love to hear what other people love, which dungeons they like to jump into, and maybe we can try to get some runs of those too. So coming up here is the room where we have to kill the commander. And he drops a pretty sick shield that wouldn't be helpful for us, but very cool looking shield, kind of like an Alliance crest. Commander Springvale and the Wailing Guardsmen. I believe these guys fear us, if I'm not mistaken. We've seemingly pulled the boss, which is concerning. They're dropping pretty easy. We've actually pulled a lot of mobs, so we should be careful here. I think we'll be alright, though. Drop a couple of these Wailing Guardsmen's. Tormented Officer, and then we'll focus on the boss. Should be easy enough. This shaman is a Volpera, which is a very cool race I often forget exists in the game. I'd love to farm the rep for that, but I have not. Okay, we should down him here. Ooh, I got a really nice chest piece here. Really nice chest piece, awesome. Okay, we'll take that. So the quest must go on here.
Speak quickly.
Did I somehow mess this quest up? Oh, the turn-in's back here. I don't know why I can't turn in the quest. Oh, there it is.
I am forsaken.
Chromosh has both a thick skull and a fool's brain, and we'll use that to our advantage. By the time anybody finds out about the plague's true potency, it'll be far too late. Thank you for keeping quiet during this tirade. I promise you won't regret it. Unsurprisingly, we aren't going to listen to Chromosh about the plague. However, his brute strength will come in handy for muscling my men through the many foes ahead on the path to Godfrey. The most powerful being his right-hand man, Lord Walden. I'll meet you in Walden's chamber after you finish him off. Then at long last, we can completely take Shadowfang Keep for the Forsaken. So we're taking Shadowfang Keep back from this Godfrey fella. And then we'll basically have it for the Forsaken. So if you look down here, this was the big courtyard we were in moments ago, which I always thought was so cool that you're kind of looping back on the dungeon. We'll end up over there, then we climb this tower. It's a super cool quest design, or dungeon design. I'm a huge fan of it, and you can see outside, like that's the Pyrewood Village from the beginning of the episode. It's really, really cool how they laid this out. I'll tell you a story, actually, once we finish this room, about the roof out here.
I don't have a target.
Is there a hole in the roof here? That's cool. Wow. So kind of a run-down keep. Okay, these gargoyles used to attack. Yeah, they still do. So on this roof, me and my friends were running a hardcore character party. So basically, if you die, you delete your character. So it was high stakes. We made it all the way to the dungeon here. We're playing through. Nobody's died. We get into a bit of a tiff on this roof, and everybody basically jumps onto this, jumps down to the entrance, and runs out, because the entrance to the dungeon's right here. Well, one of my buddies, we're all on comms for this, he jumps out this side, which actually teleports you out of the dungeon. And it looks to him like he's falling a huge distance and is about to basically die from falling damage. Somehow teleports out of the dungeon and doesn't die. It's ridiculous. And we had it all on video, recorded. It was an incredible moment. But if you've never done a hardcore character reroll, it's a ton of fun. It's worth trying. It's very stressful, and like we did that in Classic, so this dungeon, we weren't burning through it like this. That was really challenging. It was a ton of fun. If you can get a group of friends to do it, I highly recommend. The hardcore community is pretty cool too, so I'm sure you could find people to do it with. A lot of good players out there that are trying hardcore WoW. This room was always really tough too, because there were these wolves, the lupine horrors, which I don't know if are in here anymore, but they did crazy damage. I don't think they're in this iterance of the dungeon, unfortunately.
I don't have a target.
But I definitely died in this room a lot.
It's locked.
Locked chest. We're making really good pace through the dungeon. So now we're in that big tower part of the keep, and we're making our way up. So we're kind of climbing to the tippity top of the base. And here's Walden. So this used to be a slightly different boss, I believe, that summoned these void walkers that would come and attack you. And now it's this kind of mage boss here, which is kind of cool. Certainly doing some damage. I don't have charts or anything to know quite how much, but we are pushing. Nice. Alright, we should be meeting the quest giver here, Deathstalker Commander Belmont. The time has come, soldiers. Godfrey lies just ahead. Have no mercy. We fight.
What now?
Okay. He opens this now? You'd better hurry up if you want in on all the fun. Oh, we're off to Godfrey. The time has come. Godfrey will fall. If all goes well, you'll just be able to walk right into Godfrey's personal domain and take a reward fitting for such an eager young hunter. Godfrey is a cunning foe, though, so it may be wise to head up there quickly, just in case you're needed. He'll pay for what he did to the Dark Lady. I don't totally know the story of what Godfrey did to Sylvanas. If anybody knows, leave that down in the comments. I'm sure I would love to know what exactly that is. You can see down below where we just were. I love that. I think that's so cool how they laid this out. Yeah, I don't know exactly what he did. What's the story? What's the lore there? If somebody wants to lay that out, that'd be super cool. I'd really appreciate it. This room had a huge, like, Worgen boss, I remember. But they've changed it over to these skeletons.
I don't have a target.
Ding, level 21. We can do a bunch of new dungeons now. We'll get a new skill. We'll have to look into that after, because this is the entryway to the Lord Godfrey here. Why is the door shut? What in Sylvanas' name is going on here? Chromish, what happened? There's Godfrey. The coward killed them, poisoned me. What? So we're at the top of the tower here.
I don't have a target.
All right, on to Godfrey. Oh, I can probably wear those shoulder pads, actually. Not in combat. All right, let's do it. Here he is. Big damage on Godfrey, everyone. He summons ghouls and then has a pistol barrage. So this used to be Archmage Rugal, which was always a cool boss because I played a mage as a youngster. And he dropped the robes of Rugal, the belt of Rugal. There was like a lot of really good cloth gear in this dungeon, which may be one reason why I loved it so much. But it was really cool. Oh shoot, my pet's dead. I'm gonna want to revive him for the fight. Send him in. Just kind of big damage here. is all we can do. It's kind of taking a while, there's no question about that. I could probably interrupt some of his casts. Maybe not. Didn't work. He's dropping. We're close. Oh yeah, big damage. We did it. We downed him. We did Shadowfang Keep. No loot on the end. Somebody got the feline mantle, which is a classic piece of gear from this dungeon. Very cool. Let's turn in the final quest. Awesome work. We cleared through Silverpine and then took down Godfrey in Shadowfang Keep.
Hello.
For a moment there, I thought all was lost. Even when surrounded by the Worgen and Gilneas, I had higher hopes. But you proved me wrong, Boneblade. I will see to it that Sylvanas herself hears of your triumph here today. Don't worry about the mess here. I will gladly see to it myself. We get some really nice shoulders. I'm definitely going with those.
Victory for Sylvanas.
Oh, nice. I've got a pair of shoulders. Was that it for quests, I think? Awesome. Good work. We'll hearth out, but we cleared Shadowfang Keep, and I feel good about that, gang. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down below if you think we should jump on a new character, what kind of class and race you think we should play, and we'll have some fun with it. Otherwise, like the video, subscribe to the channel, check out my link to Patreon down below if you feel like contributing, helping out a little bit. But otherwise, we're here having fun. There's going to be a lot more episodes coming, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.